Hi, my name's Pat Proctor and I'm running to serve you as your state representative in Topeka. You know, I wasn't born into money. My dad, he was an auto worker. My mom, she worked in factories or as a server in restaurants, whatever it took to make ends meet and put food on our table. And my wife, you know, she wasn't born with a lot of money either. She grew up in a small village in Thailand, and she came here in her 20s on a visa with really just the clothes on her back. And so when we got married, I was a lieutenant, and we went from Army post to Army post, and we never really had a lot. When I came here to Fort Leavenworth in 2006, really all we owned free and clear was a couple of 6-year-old cars. So when we were moving here to Leavenworth, my wife came ahead of me because I still had to wrap up at Fort Irwin, California at the National Training Center. And she was supposed to be looking for a house, but after a couple days she gave me a call and she said, "Hey, I found a restaurant." A couple friends of ours that we've been stationed with when we were stationed in Hawaii, they had opened a restaurant right here where the Excellent Choice restaurant is now. And they didn't realize how much work a restaurant was, and they wanted to sell. And so I wasn't as eager as my wife was to get into the restaurant business, but it had been her lifelong dream, and so I wanted to support her. But you know what, we couldn't get a bank to give us any money because, like I said, all we had to our name was a couple of cars, and the restaurant business is pretty tough. A lot of restaurants go out of business in the first year, so banks don't want to loan you money. So we had to run up our credit cards, and we had to get loans on those 2 cars that we owned that were 6 years old. One of them was a Cavalier. It was on its 3rd engine, and the other one was a Chevy Blazer. And then we had to wipe out our savings in order to buy this business. But my wife's pretty determined, and she went right to work on remodeling the place and getting it ready. And we opened in February, a couple months after we got here for the first January start CGSC. And it was an instant success. Only had 19 seats, but they were full all the time. And people would drive up and down 7th Street looking in the window to see if there was an open seat so they could come in and eat. And so the business did really, really well because my wife's an awesome cook. And after 2.5 years, we were able to move to the bigger location over on 4th and Cherokee.
This is a critical time for Leavenworth. So many people have been put out of work by the coronavirus shutdown and the economic crisis that it's created. So many people are at home waiting on unemployment checks that are late or haven't come at all, on stimulus checks that still haven't come. And our small business owners here in Leavenworth, they're just barely hanging on. We've begun the economic reopening of Kansas, but a lot of small business owners still aren't allowed to open their businesses. And those owners that are able to open their businesses, they're not operating at full capacity because a lot of folks still are not ready to come out and patronize those businesses. What we need in Topeka right now is somebody that knows what it's like to risk everything, their life savings, to build and grow a business. Somebody that knows what it's like to put people to work and have to sign those paychecks and be responsible for the livelihoods of others. So many job-killing policies have been coming out of Topeka even before this economic crisis. And we need somebody who understands the struggles of our small business owners and how to put people back to work if we're going to knock down those obstacles and we're going to bring jobs and opportunity back to Leavenworth.